Hey everybody, this is Drew with Como Comic Books. In today's video, we're going to be counting down our top 10 list of the best graphic novels. Stay with us. Welcome back. If we're just meeting, my name's Drew Stewart. I'm the owner of Como Comic Books, and we are a Columbia, Missouri-based comic book vendor, and you will find us at comic book shows and comic book conventions all around the region. We specialize in Silver Age and Bronze Age comics, and the focus of our YouTube channel is to bring you the best tips and tricks that will help you take your comic collection to the next level. Wanted to give a shout out to some of our new subscribers that have taken the time to drop comments on some of our previous videos in the last couple days. So special thanks to Happy Comics, Tartan Phantom, and Chris Taz. We appreciate you all taking the time to drop us a comment, give us some thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and if we didn't mention your name today, just know that we still appreciate you dropping us a comment and engaging with us in the comments for all of our videos, and we look forward to engaging with you guys further in the comment sections. If you're like me, while we've been in lockdown during the quarantine lately, you've run out of things to do. So what I'm doing is I'm starting to turn back to some of the graphic novels and trade paperbacks that I've had sitting on a shelf for a while and revisiting some of my favorites. It occurred to me that everyone may not be in the same position I am, where I have a collection that I've gathered over the last 20 years of some of the best comic stories and some of my personal favorite stories that have ever been collected together in a trade paperback or a hardcover, just sitting on a shelf waiting to be revisited. With that in mind, today's video is going out to the people who are new in the hobby or perhaps aren't particularly well read or versed in comic book stories, but maybe folks that have focused on investing in comics, just buying single issues, looking more at the money side of it. If you want to flip that around and get some of the actual entertainment value that comics were originally intended to provide, this list is going to give you a great place to start, and there will be something for everybody on there, I guarantee it. Before I hop into the list today, I want to let you know that there are links down below in the description for every single book that is mentioned in the list. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and hop into the list. The first graphic novel on our list is Lone Wolf and Cub. Lone Wolf and Cub is a classic comic book story out of the late 80s, and I will break it down as simple as I can for you. If you enjoyed The Mandalorian on Disney Plus, pick up Lone Wolf and Cub. They are cut from the same cloth, and you are going to love it. Next on our top 10 list, Sandman. Neil Gaiman's classic Vertigo series has been collected into 10 trade paperbacks, or you can find some more larger collected editions that contain 1 or 2 trade paperbacks worth of material. And there's no other way to describe the Sandman than legendary. From haunting tales to really beautiful stories, Sandman has it all. The best thing about Sandman is it's not something you're going to be able to just tear through. There are elements of Sandman that you really have to stop and give a fair amount of time to let them process and really take in what you've read. It's beautiful stuff. So if you're looking for a story that is going to be more of a slow burn, something that is going to be an ongoing tale that you can enjoy, I recommend picking up the Sandman Volume 1 and working your way down through Volume 10. Next on our list of best graphic novels, Daredevil, Born Again. This is the first Frank Miller story on our list and features his triumphant return to the Man Without Fear. Having written and drawn a legendary run previously, Miller returns with Dave Mazzucchelli and produces what is arguably the greatest Daredevil story ever told. Born Again has it all. The story is amazing, the art is gorgeous, and it's really well paced. It takes place over several issues, but it is a story that you can get in and enjoy, and it's not going to take up too much of a time investment like a story like Sandman will, where you have 10 trade paperbacks worth of material to consume. Next on our list is The Dark Knight Returns. This is our second entry from Frank Miller and is considered to be one of the best Batman stories ever told, if not the best Batman story ever told. Truth be told, Miller is competing with himself for that award in a story that did not make our list, but we'll give it an honorable mention. Batman Year One is also one of the best Batman stories ever written, but I gave Dark Knight the edge due to the impact it had in the market at the time. Dark Knight Returns was released as a premium format 4-issue series by DC in the 80s and has since been collected into one trade paperback. It's cutting edge for its time in many ways, from the storytelling. Miller's art is fantastic. And if you're a Batman fan and have not yet taken the time to read Dark Knight Returns, do yourself a favor and pick this one up. Number 5 on our list of the best graphic novels is Maus. Art Spiegelman's classic reinterpretation of the Holocaust as told through cats and mice is one of the most compelling comic book stories that has ever been printed. If you have concerns over the quality of this story, just know it is the only comic book work that has ever been issued a Pulitzer Prize. Maus is gorgeous, it's heartbreaking, and if you're looking for a comic book that is going to stir emotion and leave an impact, pick up Maus and give it a read. Next on our list in the number 6 spot is our only Spider-Man entry in the list, Kraven's Last Hunt. If you guys know me, you know I'm a Spider-Man fan, and I think it's clear that the greatest Spider-Man story ever told is Kraven's Last Hunt. While the story is commonly known as Kraven's Last Hunt, the actual name of the story arc is Fearful Symmetry. And this is a 6-issue arc that took place over 2 issues of Amazing Spider-Man, Web of Spider-Man, and Spectacular Spider-Man in the 80s. The story features amazing art from Mike Zeck. The story is haunting and powerful, and if you're a Venom fan, it really helps set up Spider-Man and Mary Jane's mentality going into the premiere of Venom. I can't really reveal too much more. I don't want to get spoilery for anybody who hasn't yet read the story. If you want to have a better insight into the frame of mind of both Peter Parker and Mary Jane Watson when Venom shows up in just a few more issues of Amazing Spider-Man, this 6-issue series, Fearful Symmetry, Kraven's Last Hunt, is going to set the stage for how they react the way they do once Venom shows up. In the number 7 spot is a story I personally love. I think it's absolutely beautifully drawn. The story is great. And if you're looking for something that is not superhero based, you want to mix it up a little bit and step away from the tights and flights, I recommend Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips' Criminal. Criminal is a gritty noir tale and is well worth the time for anyone who enjoys Humphrey Bogart movies or crime tales. Just that noir vibe. They capture it in an excellent way, and Sean Phillips's work in this particular story is just fantastic. So if you're looking for something fun and different, pick up Criminal. Next on our list of best graphic novels is Locke Key, Volume 1, Welcome to Lovecraft. Locke Key recently premiered on Netflix. I watched the first season, I really enjoyed it, and this is a trade paperback I owned that I had forgotten I'd bought, so I'm excited to get back and reread it, really sink my teeth further into the story. Joe Hill, the writer behind Locke Key, comes from very well established stock in the author community, you might say. If you don't know, Joe Hill's father is Stephen King, and Joe purposely did not take the King name when he began writing, so he didn't have to compete or try and fill his father's shoes. I'm a fan of his work, and I think he has done an excellent job of earning his own way. I could name several other Joe Hill stories that I really enjoyed, but for now we're focusing on Locke Key. If you enjoyed the Netflix show, I recommend you pick up this book. It's fairly inexpensive and will help take you a little bit deeper into the world of Locke Key, because we all know they can't fit all the good stuff into the television show. The book is always just a bit better. Coming in at the number 9 spot of our best graphic novels list is the book you've probably been waiting to see show up all the way through this list. Number 9 is Watchmen. Watchmen is Alan Moore's anti-hero opus that was originally put out by DC Comics over the course of 12 issues. Since its original run, Watchmen has been collected in a trade paperback or hardcover format for God knows how many printings, and it is one of the most highly regarded comic stories ever told. As with most things Alan Moore, it features adult themes and violence and is not suitable for the younger reader, but if you are of age and are looking for probably the best deconstruction of the modern superhero, then Watchmen is going to be the book for you. In the number 10 spot of our list of best graphic novels is a personal favorite of mine, X-Men God Loves, Man Kills. Originally produced as Marvel graphic novel number 5, God Loves, Man Kills was intended to be a standalone story outside of the X-Men continuity. In the years that have followed, it has slowly worked its way into continuity and is now generally considered just a nice little side story in the X-Men universe. If you enjoyed the second X-Men movie, X2, the plot for that film was very, and I mean very, loosely adapted from the God Loves, Man Kills story. If you're an X-Men fan and you have not taken the time to read, or perhaps you haven't been able to find a copy of the original Marvel graphic novel, I recommend picking this story up in trade. It's worth the extra effort, the small expense that's associated with it. I hope you enjoyed the list. As I mentioned before, there are links down in the description for every book we covered today. If you click on those links and make a purchase, we may receive a small commission, and that helps support our channel. If you enjoyed today's video, I encourage you to check the cards up above where we've linked to previous videos we put out that focus on comic book investing, comic book collecting strategy, and other comic book tips and tricks that will help you take your comic collection to the next level. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.